Things just took a horrifying turn. There's some shocking Bengals news that came out concerning the Trey Hendrickson negotiations in this offseason. We're going to break it down and what it's going to mean for this franchise and its reputation for paying its players. Welcome to the jungle, guys. This is Isaac Coffman with Bengals Digest. So happy to see you. And on this breaking news, it's not good news as a fan that you want to hear, but we're going to break it down, see what this is going to mean for the franchise going forward. And if you're watching this video and not subscribed, you could be part of the 76% that are not already subscribed to this channel. If you want to be up to date with all these breaking news coming out, there's going to be so much news coming out in this off season. Smash that subscribe button and join the community so we can talk about all the breaking news as they come out. Well, let's get right to it. There was a recent quote that just got broke, and it was by Adam Schefter on X, and it was concerning Trey Hendrickson. Here's what he had to say. This is coming from Trey Hendrickson concerning all these negotiation talks. We've been hearing it all off season. He says, "No communication has taken place between my camp and the organization post-draft. The offers prior to the draft did not reflect the vision we shared and were promised last offseason. If I continue to play at a high level, coaches are aware of these past conversations. Rather than using collaboration to get us to a point to bring me home to the team, they are no longer communicating. I have been eagerly awaiting a resolution of this situation, but that's hard to do when there is no discussion and no evident lack of interest in reaching mutual goals." Wow, this is big because we just had some news last week. Carson, who's also on this channel, had that news about how there was some talks going on. Now this coming from Trey Hendrickson, it doesn't seem like that's the case. It's actually the opposite. And something that we can zero in on post-draft. They just got Shamar Stewart. He was talking about working with Hendrickson. You almost had this momentum building of, hey, these guys, they might be collaborating together, getting where Hendrickson's going to be able to elevate him, to kind of take him under his wing. Hearing this kind of news is not good news. Let's just get down to it. If this is true, that the Bengals have just cut off communication post-draft, well, it's frustrating. How can you not be frustrated? And right now, you have a fan base that's already kind of at that halfway. You're split one way or the other. I've talked to some fans that are saying, I take the Bengals side, that this guy is under contract this year. He is due $16 million this year, and he should play it out. He shouldn't be demanding more money, putting the team in a situation. And then I've also heard some fan bases taking the side of Hendrickson because he earned it. This is the guy that got 17 sacks last year. He led the league. He was the only factor, the only guy putting pressure on offenses all of last year. We've talked about it so many times about how this defense was just struggling. He wasn't one of them. He was the bright spot. And, he's looking around the league. There was Danielle Hunter of the Texans. He just got a contract where he is at about 35.6 per year. So more than half. If you think about it, just think about your job. Don't factor in millions of dollars. We see those money signs, but just at your job, you're working and you're putting in more productivity than the guy next to you. Because Hendrickson put in better production. They're up there, one of the best. But getting back to, if you see someone next to you getting more than double than your pay, you're going to say something. That's what's going on right now with these contract talks. It's just an ongoing affair. I think as fans, we're getting kind of tired of it, to be honest. We want to have the least amount of distractions as we can right now. We've been talking about how the Bengals are slow coming out of the gate. This isn't going to help it. It might be a small matter. We might roll our eyes and think, well, this is just something small. But if this continues to go on, this is going to be a bigger and bigger distraction. Continuing to opening season, it's just how it's going to be. And that's the concern. It's still early. We can be positive about it. But at the same time, when you hear this report of no communication, it's just, as a fan base, you can't help but be frustrated. It's something that they should have resolved. They should understand that there's options out there. I hate to see him go, but Jermaine Pratt is a guy that will always be remembered in Cincinnati. He got that interception against the Raiders. I mean, that was just amazing to watch. If you're a Bengals fan watching that for so many years, not seeing the Bengals win a playoff game, and just simply Jermaine Pratt jumping in front of that Derek Carr pass, that will just live on. That's just something that's going to be remembered. And he had some very productive years. I have a lot of respect for Jermaine Pratt, but he has been vocal about not wanting to be here. He has said as much. He just doesn't. He wants to move on. They might have got to the point where it's just not going to work out. And the Bengals, I think the problem we can go back to is when Carson Palmer said he was retiring and he sat out, what happened? The Bengals just sat back, they let time go by, and the Raiders came to them with these high picks. I feel like the Bengals are doing that again, and they did that with Jamar Chase, they did that with T. Higgins, and ultimately they ended up having to pay them more than if they would have just got that long-term contract worked out. I see both sides of waiting because they might be thinking they can get something out of Jermaine Pratt, but if they just release Jermaine Pratt, that's what he wants, number one, but number two, you're going to save $5 million on your cap space. That is something you can use towards Hendrickson because it's getting to a point where things are going to need to be worked out. It's just how things are going. It's like they're going to have to figure this out. The Bengals want a first-round draft pick for Hendrickson. They allowed him to seek trades, and there was a lot of interest. There's constant rumor articles of Hendrickson going to this team, but the problem keeps coming back to the Bengals want more than what's being offered, and that's understandable. So what else do? You need to pay him if that's how it comes down to. It's understandable about his value. Again, I see both sides of it. The fan base saying he's under contract, he should play out the year, but whatever it takes at this point, they need to at least be talking. The not talking, that's not good. That's just showing, again, the Bengals are being Bengals. They're not willing to pay their players. We've heard it all through the years, and this is just adding fuel to that fire. Oh, so what a frustrating breaking news. We can only go with, this is coming from Trey Hendrickson. Hopefully, maybe there's just been a misunderstanding, but this is not good. This is just not good press, no matter how you look at it, because this has been going on for months. This started last year. Remember, Hendrickson requested a trade before the season even started last year. So it's a tough pill to swallow. It's really tough as a Bengals fan, for me personally, to see that. I just hope things get worked out one way or the other. I'm ready to focus on the fun of the season. There's so much we can look forward to. Again, all the other things that have been going on, there's a lot of excitement that's building for the season. But what do you think? Do you think that they're going to get this worked out with Trey Hendrickson? Do you think it's going to be soon? Do you think it's going to be dragged out? Let us know in the comments below your thoughts, and what are your thoughts on just the season? Maybe some positive. Be sure to throw that in there as well that we can think about. And again, if you are not already subscribed, be sure to smash that button so you're going to be up to date as these news breaks, because we want to keep you guys posted. We want you to join in on the discussion and hear your thoughts. That's going to be it for now, guys. As we say, Hoo Day.